Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is Rusty 78609, and this is Beer 30 Sanity Session. Here's to you, here's to me, Skull Prost. Cheers. Here's to you. Mm-hmm. Well, I've been at Fort Clark Springs Days a couple of times. Did a couple of videos. I'll post those later on. Tomorrow, I think I'll post a couple of them, short ones. And anyway, but it is Friday night. It is Beer 30, and it is Sanity Session. So what can I tell you that will help you maintain your sanity and hopefully enjoy your life a little more? Well, sometimes we learn by other people's mistakes. And so I'll tell you about some of the mistakes I've made. You may have heard some of them before. If you have, well, just plug up your ears or listen to them one more time. But if you have a crystal ball and you can see into the future, then there's a good chance that you won't make too damn many mistakes. But that is a crystal ball, but you can't see any further than your hand, okay? But anyway, we'll start off when I was on a farm about 12 years old, and my dad had borrowed a fertilizer. You get this thing that you put fertilizer in, you pull it behind a tractor, and it spreads the fertilizer out in the field. And then the rain comes and puts fertilizer in the ground, and all the crop grows up and everything. Everybody's happy. So anyway, we had borrowed a fertilizer, and my dad told me when we got the fertilizer, he wanted me to be sure and take it back. But before I took it back that day, we only needed it for one day because you can fertilize really quick, okay? And we didn't have much to do anyway. So anyway, but he said, now whenever you get done fertilizing, there's a brush here. Just take this brush and brush out all that caked up fertilizer from those little wheels that turn in there, and clean those up before you take it back to the people we borrowed it from, because we got it in good condition. We want to take it back in good condition. Fine, good plan. So I drove out, fertilized 6, 8 hours, whatever it was, and got it back to the house, and I started scraping that. Oh, he also told me, baby, back up, turn it, rewind. Okay, we're back to the point. Anyway, he told me, be sure and take the brush, clean it out real good, take it back. And he said, whatever you do, don't use water in there, because if you do, this fertilizer has a chemical in it that becomes very corrosive if you get water on it. So just brush it off and then take it back to the people that owned it. No problem. So I fertilized, got back to the house, and it was getting near time to head into town, so to speak. We lived about 3 miles out in the country. And I got to the house and I started brushing that stuff. So, God damn, I said, this stuff's caked on there like concrete. It's going to take forever to get this stuff off. Ding! I thought, I wonder what water does. So anyway, there was a garden hose not too far away. Pulled up there, pulled a tractor up and everything. And I got the garden hose and put a little water in there. Came off like nothing. I thought, well, hell, you'd be a fool not to, just kind of squirt it out here. And so I did. I did that. I did that. You learn by your mistakes, okay? Well, anyway, so I did. But then when I got through, kind of getting it sprayed out pretty good, well, I took the brush and kind of cleaned it. It was perfect. It was damn clean. It was too damn clean, actually. But anyway, took it back to my neighbor's house. Nobody was there. Dropped it off. And about, a week later, my dad and I were outside, I was outside. He drove up and got out of his truck and walked over to me, and he said, you remember that day you used that fertilizer? I said, yeah. And he said, remember I told you not to put water on it? Yeah. He said, did you put water on it? And I said, well, well, there's one spot there I couldn't hardly get, and I put a little, boom, skids. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's how you learn to obey what your parents say. It's not in Dr. Spock's book, but it's damned effective. Did I ever use water on that thing again? No. Did I ever use water on anything my daddy told me not to? No. No, it only takes one of those, messages, you know what I mean? But anyway, that took care of that crap. But he wasn't brutal. I mean, he didn't do it unless I was really screwed up, and I screwed up. So learn by your mistakes. That was one. And then another one was much later on, and this was when I was in my, let's see, let's see, 40, about 40 years old. Would that be right? Yeah, 40, 41 years old. And I was living in Victoria, Texas, making good money. And I wanted to build me a home out in the country. I'd bought some land of 6 acres, and I wanted to put a house on it. And I checked with some builders. They gave me some prices, and God, they seemed so high, you know. And anyway, this guy I knew, he said, "Well, hell, Rusty, just contract it yourself." And I thought, "Well, shit, I can do that." I said, "Well, hell, I'm not a builder." He said, "Well, no, you just become the contractor, and then you hire people to do things like the foundation and the plumbing and the electrical and all the stuff. And yeah, you just have them come out and do it, and next thing you know, you got a home, and you keep the money the builder would have made." I thought, damn, how genius. Why didn't I think of that? And I know there's a lot of people that have probably done this and did not go totally insane, but I got to tell you, that it was a foolish thing to do. It was a quote mistake, okay, a big one, big old, because it was about a 2,200 square foot home, and everything has to happen in order, okay? Everything has to happen in order. You got to get the power there. I had to get a water well drilled, have those, those had to be operational. That was one. Step two, you got to get the land cleared, get it ready to be, formed up and trenched for the foundation. You may have noticed that I sneezed. Maybe you didn't. Some of you may not know. Okay, this is real shit. Anyway, so anyway, I got a guy that I think I mentioned in the video the other day. This guy, Noel, had a bulldozer. He came out and cleared the trees out and got cleared for the road and all the stuff. And then I got in touch with a foundation guy that was working for one of the builders in town. Very reliable guy. Hold on, I got to have some beer. My mouth's dry. So I had some plans, and that's another thing, getting a set of plans. I used a draftsman, just a draftsman, and you got to have like 6 or 8 sets of plans, because you got to give one to the foundation guy, the plumbing guy, the electrical guy. Everybody's got to have a set of plans, a framer, roofer, everybody. And anybody that drives by, you just have a set of plans. But anyway, so I contacted the plumber, contacted the electrician, got everybody lined up, and got the foundation guy out there. Of course, you got to dig, prepare it. Get the trenches dug, but before you put down the wire and stuff, you got to, or the I can't remember what they call it. They tie the steel for the foundation. You got to put the plumbing in. You got to have all the PVC run and stub out the plumbing, I guess they call it. And I don't know about electrical. No, you didn't need to do that yet. So anyway, I got all that done. Finally got the foundation poured. Everything worked out fine. Foundation, plumbing, muy bueno. Easy peasy. Got that done. And then we got to the next step, framing it. Okay? Well, guess what? This is where it started to break apart, and I mean big time. I found some framers in town that they were framing a church in Victoria, and they also went to the church. So anyway, I talked to some people. Oh man, you talk about old so and so and so. Man, they're the most honest men you ever heard of. Man, they'll get out there and knock that framing out. And they had more references than God. Anyway, so sure enough, I got the lumber hauled out there from the lumber yard. What they needed and all the stuff. Because I took the plans to the lumber yard, and he said, "Well, you're going to need this much of this and this and this." So anyway, they had it all hauled out there and stacked up. And anyway, so then the framers come out, and I can't remember. Maybe there was something else before that, but I can't remember. Well, guess what they did? I call it spiking the job. Well, what they did was, they framed around there and threw up one little wall, and then they're gone. I called them on the phone, nothing. And that was back when you answered your phone. I mean, there wasn't no cell phones. You didn't leave messages. You called and they either answered or they didn't. Some people had an answering device for their phone, but they didn't have there was no thing on your phone itself. You didn't have a smartphone. You didn't have a phone you could carry around. You had a regular old phone, landline. You picked it up and you said hello. So when you called somebody back then, they answered the phone or they didn't. And so I called and called. I even went by the church one time and they were, oh yeah, I said, yeah, we got stuck here on the church. Yeah, we'll be out there tomorrow. They didn't show up. God darn it, boy. And then, so a few days went by. They came back out again. They spiked. They did about, oh, I don't know, 4 or 5 hours worth of work. They threw up another wall and put some boards around it and shit. I thought, man, it's right there going. We won't finish till Christmas 2050. So anyway, I started looking around for somebody else to frame it or frame her out, and I found this old man and his son that built homes, and that's all. They just built one home at a time. And anyway, they said, well, there was a job they were working on. There was a delay for something. I can't remember, something they had to order, and it was going. They had a week or so they'd give me. So they did. They came out and boy, they did a good job. I mean, they framed. Everything's going pretty good. Then we got we got it, got the roof going up and everything, and man, and then it stopped. But anyway, what bottom line is, you can see where this is leading. You get into the point where the people that you think are reliable aren't. They show up, they don't show up, drives you crazy, man. And we finally got to. I wanted to get it dried in. Once you get the house dried in, if you get the monsoons, you're okay. You got the house dried in. And so that's where I was really pushing hard to get that done, and I wasn't having much luck. So, bottom line is, did I save any money? I don't know. The money I spent on psychiatrists probably absorbed a lot of my profit. Because no kidding, my mouth's getting dry now. Here's to you. So if you want to build your own home, what I say is don't. No. If if there's a good builder in your area that's got some good subs, that's been with him for a few years, that's the guy you want. That's the guy you want. If it's a new builder that doesn't have any subcontractors, I don't know about that. That's your choice. Doing it yourself, I don't know, man. Again, that's your choice. And then what other mistakes have I made? Big old biggies. Well, I made some stupid investments. Obviously, I invested money in the stock market. I don't know if y'all remember the stock market bubble. The what they call the internet bubble or what it was. All the internet things coming on. If it had something .net, everybody bought it. I think I own Amazon, Google, Yahoo. I don't know. I owned a bunch of them, and I made a little money off some of them. But overall, when the bubble burst, I had a lot of money in there. Okay, imaginary money. Okay, the mistake I made, and a guy told me, a friend of mine told me. He said, "Man," he said, "Rusty, if I was you, I'd get out of that son of a bitch right now." He said, you got a good gain in there. Shit, get out and pay the taxes and enjoy your life. And I thought, shit, man, it's going up, going up, going up. Well, hey, man, come on. If it goes up, it'll come down. Did it come down? Overnight. It was up here and then poof, opened up the next morning. See, you can't get into after hours trading and you can't get in before hours trading. All the big boys get in there and eat the turkey and leave you what's left, you know what I mean? But no, it went down dramatically. I ended up making a little bit, but I had a ton in there, and that was a big, big, big mistake. If you've got a good gain in there and get out. Or option two, stay in for the long haul. If I'd have stayed in on Google and Amazon, shit, man, I'd be a fat cat now. But, that was yesterday, and yesterday's gone. So what's that got to do with sanity? A lot, because you can avoid going insane if you don't do stupid things like I did. You know what I mean? I'm telling you, man. I got married, divorced, married, divorced, married, divorced, married, divorced, married, divorced. It seemed like a merry-go-round. Hey, there's old Rusty. He'll marry me. Hello. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Has he got any money left? Well, he's got a little bit. Well, I'll marry. Everybody in town wanted to marry me. Shit. Oh, easy. You know what I mean? Yeah, old marriage man. But here's to you, here's to me, guys. I don't know how long this thing's been going on. And then what else have I done? Mistake-wise? I'm sure I've made a lot of them. Oh, I'll give you one. When I got back from the U.S. Peace Corps in 1995, late in the year, they give you a little exit money, and of course I had a little money saved from what I'd made out of the market. Well, no, I did. I was before. That was pre-market. I'm sorry. No, but I had a little money saved. I had a little bit, not much, and and I didn't want to. I didn't want to rent an apartment. So I thought, well, shit, I'll get me an RV because I'd been living in an RV before I went in the U.S. Peace Corps in Mongolia for 2 years. But anyway, so I bought, but I didn't know anything about RVs. I mean, nothing, not nothing, man. And so I go out to this RV dealer in Victoria, Texas, that everybody said was Mr. Honest, all this stuff. Well, he was, but he had a junk ass old RV there that when you walk by it, it would bark at you. You know what I mean? It was what you call a dog. And but anyway, I was out there one day and I walked by there. I didn't hear it barking. I was too stupid. And so anyway, asked him, he said, yeah, this was owned by a guy out of Hallettsville. He had it down on the coast for a while. He said, oh man, it's like new, like new, like new. Well, that was not true. No, that was wrong. It had the old walls with the wood in it and stuff, and the frame underneath was made out of iron and it was rusted, and he brushed off a little rust and used spray cans and sprayed the frame where if you just walked by and glanced at it, it would look okay. I'm surprised it wasn't rusted in two in any place, but it was in bad shape, man. It had two entry doors, and I thought, oh, that's so neat. If one of the boys comes by, they can use the front and I'll have the back. Blah blah. It was such a great plan. It weighed about, I don't know, probably 250,000 pounds. No, it was heavy as shit, man. And I had a '79 Chevrolet pickup. I know I've told you this story before, but it's another mistake, so we'll add it to the mistakes as I drink a little beer here. Mm. But anyway, I bought that junk ass thing. Oh, it was horrible, man. It was falling apart. It was falling apart faster than I could repair it. And that's enough said about that. But I did learn that the next time I got an RV, I knew what I was doing then. No more of that shit. No, did I check the floor in the bathroom? Well, let's see, was this next one I got, was it used too? Uh, Let me think. I had that thing, and I sold it there. Oh, and then I lived over at the golf course, Highland Lakes Golf Course, in that little old house. And then when I left there, old Johnny, the guy that owned the golf course, gave me like an 18-foot RV. He got it for himself, but he didn't like it. He said it's too small, so he gave it to me. He was a nice guy, really honest. I'm glad I knew him. And but anyway, so I got that one, but it was like new. I mean, everything was new, and so I didn't have any problems with it. But God Almighty, man, there's so many ways to get off the path, and you don't realize it when you're doing it at the time because you see what you want to see and you hear what you want to hear. In other words, if you want something like a new car or a new RV or a new house or whatever, you create all these reasons why you should have it. Okay, you don't think about reasons you should not have it. That doesn't come into mind. You block all the negative out and accentuate the positive, and the next thing you know, you've got it. Or is that a mistake every time? No, most of the time, no. I mean, it can be. Anyway, here's to you guys. Friday night sanity session. Let's think of something else. Here's a quickie. And this wasn't, I was running that little golf course, that little 9-hole golf course. I didn't know shit about it. But we only had 10 golf carts that would make 18 holes. We had probably 14 golf carts, but 4 of them wouldn't make 9 holes. You know what I mean? The old lead acid batteries were shot, and but I'd keep them charged up. But anyway, I was the guy. I was the guy. I was the manager. And then there was one guy that was a maintenance guy, and his name was Darty. Hey, Darty, if you watch this, and no, he's a great guy. He knew how to work on the carts a little bit. And then the owner, he was always gone because he was a gambler and he'd be gone for months at a time, which was fine with me. I enjoyed that. But anyway, I was there for a few days with the owner, kind of getting the, learning what to do. I didn't know a damn thing. I had a cash register and all kind of shit. and he had a bookkeeper in town. He had to take information to. But anyway, I learned pretty quick. And but as far as the carts were concerned, that was all new shit to me. Charging the batteries and the chargers and stuff. And but we had one group of five old men, and about my age, some of them a little older. They were between 75 and 80, early 80s. We called them the what do we call it? Oh man, the old group, the old man or the old man group or something like that. But they showed up every morning before sunrise. They would be there before I got there to open the front door. All right, and but we always the old golf carts. They had keys, but you didn't need a key for our golf carts at all. And a few people knew that, and these old men knew that, and because they were members and been members for years. And so what they would do is they'd come in early before I got there, and they would take five golf carts. You got me? Each one had a golf cart. They would not pair up. Well, I can't have. I told Johnny, the owner, I said, man, we can't be letting them take five golf carts. He said, well, I've been telling them for years not to do it, and all this blah 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 blah. He said, maybe you can get them straightened out. I said, well, thank you for leaving me this problem. Anyway, he did. He left, and but anyway. Sure enough, they showed up. I mean, I got there about 7. I went around. Sure enough, 5 golf courses zipping up and down. They weren't playing golf. They were playing polo. You know what I mean? And I asked them one time. They came in there and I said, "Hey guys, you know that taking 5 carts when y'all come here ain't gonna get it, okay?" And I said, but why do y'all want to take 5 golf carts anyway? Why don't y'all pair up like everybody else does? Take 2 golf carts, well, 3 actually. That saved me 2 golf carts, and you're fine. We can work with that. And anyway, they said, well, it's so much faster. And I said, well, if you want to do something fast, how about not playing golf at all? And then I got 5 golf carts ready to go when the people start showing up. Anyway, enough said. It went on a while, and then one of them died, and one of them hurt himself, and so we lost 2 of them, and they were down to 3. And 2 of them did pair up, so they were just taking 2 golf carts after that, which is just pure luck. But it drove me nuts, man. What does that got to do with sanity? Well, if somebody dies, it's not necessarily bad. Here's to me. Actually, it's not bad at all. But having said that, what else can I tell you? Fort Clark Springs days was enjoyable. I hope you enjoy your weekend. And I wish I could think of a funny story to tell you. I'm trying nothing's coming up though. Cakes are on the griddle. But anyway, enjoy your weekend, enjoy your life, stand guard at the door of your mind. And if you want to build you a house, don't. If you want to buy an RV that's been on the beach for a few years, don't. If you're managing a golf course and you've only got a bunch of junk ass golf carts, quit. Anyway, thumbs up, guys. Adios. Bye bye. Use the Amazon link if you want to.